Yes, hey folks, how are we going? Third day of the year. I'm not going to do that every day. Let's get through the first week, then we'll stop talking about all the New Year's and things like that. But I'm back in my garden, and why I said that is because the last 2 days, been away, haven't done any watering or anything, so I've relied on nature to look after my veggies here. And remember these tomatoes? Some of you reckon they know how to grow a tomato, huh? You funny people out there. Nevertheless, let's talk about this patch here, because this is the new patch. And if you haven't seen these segments before, we had weeds in here. We had kaiku. Look at that. It's already growing up again through the English box, all the way around. Yeah, that's a challenge, and I'm going to try and control it here. And I've got cardboard underneath here, and this is some topsoil that I brought in, or garden mix, sorry, but I've put some compost in it and our straw in it. I've put our black grit in it, but the garden mix itself wasn't that good to start off with. And I'm thinking here, we've got probably a little bit too much potash in this soil somehow. I'm not sure whether it came with it, because there's stunted growth on these plants. And it's not the roots, because the roots are lying down. There's plenty of room for them to grow. Maybe they're getting too much airflow. This is the first time I'm doing it, because I've got cardboard underneath to stop the weeds. And I don't know if I'll get another season out of this garden bed. But nevertheless, we're giving it a go. We've been putting our liquid fertilizers in our black grit, and you can see the tomatoes look like shit as a plant. It's true. I've got better ones over there. You've seen them, and I'll show you them in a minute. Everyone's going, what does he say? But the fact is, we've got lots of tomatoes on here. So the plant itself, maybe not the best looking plant. Oops, sorry. There we are. But we've got plenty of tomatoes here, setting everywhere. They're not going to be on every flower, but considering the fact that these are my Italian and Greek ones that I have, that's the Greek one there. You can see it's a bit pointier on it, like that. And some of the round ones we got over there, look, they're doing well, considering. And I've got other tomato plants who look fantastic. I mean, they've got the best foliage on them, the thickest stem, right? Lots of flowers, but no fruit still. So we've got to be patient. Our weather is colder here. When I came back from Melbourne to here, it dropped about 6 or 7 degrees. So we're sitting about 21 at the moment. It's humid because we've got overcast. So that's not the best environment for tomato plants, because disease, high prone to disease occurring on them. I'm not going to do anything to these. It's perfect weather to actually clean and prune off. But as far as fertilizing, too hot. If you're going to do any fertilizing early in the morning. And speaking about hot weather, our cucumbers have finally taken off. Come and have a look at these. I haven't harvested, well actually no, we did harvest a cucumber. Mama was over here the other time, and the plant was only about this big. And I've got to come out here and do again. I haven't got my knife on me, bugger. Here we go. Just break off the cucumber like this carefully. Come on. Oh, you're really holding on. Not too bad. A few marks on it. It's only because it's running up this wire here, this wire frame, which, don't worry too much. If you've got a little bit of sort of, water marks, you can say it's weather marks. It's actually the weather causing all those colours to sort of flush through, and you get that speckled yellow going through the plant. There's no disease, but I dare say there is a little bit of white fly here. You can make our mixture: chili, garlic, oil, turmeric, and a couple of drops of dishwashing liquid in 1 litre of water, so a teaspoon of each. Boil it, cool, strain and spray. But all the others are taken off really nice as well. So plenty of flowers. Again, our weather a lot colder than everybody else. Well, not everybody else, but by comparison to the Melbourne weather we have in the forecasts. So we've just got to be patient. Look at the basil, how it's taken off. EK Butch is what I used on this, and that's what gives you more leaf growth on it. So if you just do EK Butch and no liquid gold, you get growth straight away. Take off all the flowers, pinch off all the flowers, and give it with that. And even the eggplants just kicked in. You can see these have been sitting here for a while. It tells you the weather's not warm enough. The eggplant's one of the slowest plants to grow, and when it does grow, it's fine, but for the weather to kick in and stabilise, this needs that warmth in the soil, the consistency of it. And it's finally opened up its roots because there's new growth on it, so that means the root feeders are out there working. There's another one over there. Lots of basil in here. The salvias are taking off like wildfire. Here we go, lots of growth here too. I'm really happy. That's the other eggplant. Here, come on. Settle down. This is Krishna, folks, if you haven't met him before. He's our free-range horse, aren't you, mate? Hey? You're a good boy. He roams the paddocks there, steps all over our English box to eat our standard roses and bush roses. He does pruning, and in return we feed him. Good boy. But I don't like you stepping away in my English box. Now I know you've seen all these tomatoes before, folks, but the fact is that it is tomato season. It is that. And every day it changes by the weather. So, you know, these are so reactive now. They're at their height of the season, well, coming into their height, meaning that you're going to get so much growth literally overnight. So if we don't monitor these day by day, or at least every second day, we're going to miss the boat. And you can see already in 1 day, 2 days missing, I have got, what is all this? Ants all over this place. Come over here. Look at this. I've got to collect all these flowers too. Are these ants? No, they're not ants. Wow. Live flies and everything going on here. So this is what I was telling Effie yesterday. Thin out your plants to get some air and sunlight through to deter the insects living on the underside of your leaves there. They hide in the shade. So we've got to get rid of all these bottom leaves. And that discoloration means there's no more food going there. It's going to the top where it needs it for the new growth. Don't need that sucker. So we're going to clean all these up, get them ready, get a bit more sunlight through the middle. All these too. Lots of flowers. Oh, look at that. We've got a tomato here. It's actually set. Yep. So it's starting to happen now. These are super healthy. Yeah, very little attention they need. So they're not in any rush to set any fruit for me. And I'm not fussed. The weather's just starting to settle down, so they're doing okay. Meanwhile, these ones over here, folks, well, they're gone backwards. You know what it is? I've actually used the same soil that I used here in the first garden bed with the other 20 tomatoes. I'm going to start feeding this again, and what's happened with this soil, it's just bad soil. I've got a batch come in and I didn't pay attention actually. It was just dumped there and I could see there was a lot of filler put into it like sand, and it wasn't your wash sand, it was brick sand unfortunately, and it's just clogged the soil up, and it's clay, and it's okay to have a bit of clay in it, but there's something else in it and it's really a bad mix. And you know, at the end of the day, you go to your local garden supplies and ask them a question about what's the best mixture I can use for my veggie garden, and 99.9% will be a great mix. I'll give you the right recommendation. But that doesn't mean you've got to take your eye off the ball. Look at the stuff, have a look at it, grab a handful of it. If it clogs up in your hand, it might not be the right soil. You know, they may say it is, but you need to understand the texture of soil. I'm not going to bother showing you anything about that. That's a whole new segment. We'll talk about that another time. Do your research, talk to your garden supplies. We're there to make a dollar. We're all here to make a living, but let's not sacrifice somebody else's, you know, property or backyard just for the sake of $1 or $2. At the end of the day, make sure the product's the right product for your garden and what you're supplying to somebody else, because we put all this effort in and we fail. That's good soil. Now this soil, this bed here and that bed were built separately, but they both had the same soil put into them, and have a look. Oh wow, look at these capsicums. The chilies, they've taken off. I'm going to build a frame now. I've got the timber there, you can see it lying on the ground there, so I'm going to build a frame around this to train up these tomatoes, get them off all the other veggies, they're destroying everything, and give some more light to these chilies, because look at that, that's grouse. That's fantastic. Really happy with that. And hardly any water too. So that garden bed, when the time comes, we're going to gut it. We're going to start working our soil and see what's going on down below and see if we can rectify it. And otherwise, we're just going to still liquid fertilise. We don't need to put any more black grit at the moment, just our liquid fertiliser every couple of weeks. Look after the plants and do your pruning. And check out all our products on our website, vasilisgarden.com. From me, Vasili, Maresi.